Hello everyone and welcome back to another Universe Sandbox video, and welcome to the solar system in its very early stages. Once more, we are going to be creating another alternate reality version of the solar system and evolving it from birth to death. In this one, I've got some ideas that you guys suggested. I've got some new wacky ideas myself. I'm going to go proper in depth with customization on this one as well, and try and have a longer evolution process. We go through some more phases rather than just rapid acceleration. So without further ado, let's get into this. So if you've not seen a birth to death system before, it's where we form a system in its infancy like we're going to do here, and then once the system is all settled and formed, we ramp up the time, see how orbits change, how planets change. We slowly make the star older, brighter, bigger, and see the changes it has effects on the planets as well. And then we eventually have the destruction of the star and see what planets are left by that point, really. Sometimes some systems go really well, other systems get absolutely destroyed. Depends how stable we make it. So right now we're in the young solar system. As obviously it's got its proto disk around it. It's extremely large, going around 50 to 60 AU. I think I set it up as well. That's where the inner solar system will once be. Lots of material here, lots of stuff that could potentially be. So, as always, Jupiter, Saturn, they're going to be our first two objects to form, but they may be a little different than normal. So let's go ahead and plop in the young Jupiter first. So where do I want to plop it? I can't even see the zone disk. So where are we? So okay, so that's 60. That's 6 AU there by the looks of things. The sun's slightly off the grid. I'll just have to change their stats. Okay, that's fine. So Jupiter initially, I'm going to plop the young Jupiter in here. Now, the first of the objects, obviously, is going to be the larger of the bunch normally. So where's Jupiter? I need to find Jupiter now. There it is. So obviously, very young Jupiter. Now, what I'm going to do here is, right now, this is just a Jupiter as we know it. For some reason, it's a little larger. I need to fix that. Obviously, it's very dark here. There's a young sun. It's not going to be doing a lot for it. But what I'm going to do is, Jupiter, it's going to be a little bigger than it normally is. So, I'm going to crank up this and make it into. If we keep going, we should start to see some changes eventually. Look at that average temperature. We're going to have Jupiter as a brown dwarf in this one. So we're going to make it keep going. Oh, now that's just the background temperature wall. Now we need more than that. I want a bit of that little fusion, that fake fusion. Let's see how we can get going here. How much more do we need? I want a brown dwarf. Come on, keep going. That's a huge massive Jupiter there. Let's see how it does. 60. Ooh, hoo, hoo, hoo. Is that enough for a brown dwarf? We'll have to see actually if it cools down. It's too. I can't tell with the background temperature, so let me just put that to 0 quickly. Now we need to know if Jupiter retains that temperature or not, because that will determine if it's a brown dwarf or not. So we can see it's still retaining the 800. Let's see. Let's just give it a bit of runtime. It's just a Sun and Jupiter at this point in this very young system. So let's just see. So it is a very yeah. It looks to be a brown dwarf, a very small one though, not obviously glowing too hot. So if we, for instance, were to lower the mass a bit, if I was to half it again, it would lose all of its temperature by the looks of the or does it? Oh, very interesting. Okay, let's continue then. So the more we make the mass, the larger it gets, and eventually it will be full brown dwarf mode. So let's just see how high it needs to go. So a bit more. It may become a star though if we do too much, but for now that's looking like a brown dwarf. Yeah, oh yeah, check that out. Pretty cool. I don't want it to be too massive. Let's just see. I want it to be a very dim, like an almost brown dwarf. So I'm gonna have it as a very low mass version of a brown dwarf. So I don't want it being too ridiculously large in this. It still only is the sun. So is that a decent distance? Okay, so let's see. Oh, maybe have it as the red. That could be quite cool looking actually from a distance. How does that? Can it hold that? Does it hold this temperature? It looks like it does. Okay, so it's a very red brown dwarf, a very dim one. How low can it go? Can we go in even lower? That's not really a brown dwarf. I mean, it's still generated its own temperature a lot, isn't it? I think I'm going to plop it around there. Let's see how that. So 50 Jupiter masses. Goggles on. Also, you get the different look at it. So it's a it'd be an ultra faint brown dwarf in this scenario. But there it is. That is Jupiter. Very nice. Okay. So Jupiter for this simulation. I'm going to give it the old red trail, I think. So that's, yeah. And that reddish trail. So the brown dwarf, more of a brown dwarf trail, actually. So something like that. There we go. So that is your young Jupiter. So now we can put the, get our planetary disk looking a little more pretty again. So that'll warm everyone up. Oh, yeah. You can see how Jupiter's already changing the masses and stuff here. So let's just keep it going a little bit more. That should warm everybody up. See, where are our clouds? Are our clouds still in there? So let's go to orbits. Where are we? Yes, it is going around. Oh, yeah, our clouds are there. Okay, yes, I should assume that. All right, so back to business. Let's go to roughly. Yeah, that's where it's all nice and close. So you can see the Jupiter's already affecting that disk there, sucking up that material. There you go. What Jupiter does best. So look at this distance here. So where are we sitting? So I'm going to have it a little further out than normal. So almost sort of in the... let's see. So almost more of in a Saturn kind of distance here. So it's kind of going to bump out where the other gas giants will be in the system. So I'm going to still it around a 20-year orbit. I'm thinking, oh, do I? 7 AU? I mean, the normal asteroid belt's a little... It's a normal Jupiter's around 5, isn't it? So now I'm going to put it to about... I'm going to have it around 12 years orbit. So 5 AU. Yeah, there you go. I'm going to plop it there for now. So there we go. So that is our young Jupiter that has taken place. And this, you can see it's already sucking up materials and stuff. Very, very nice. Okay, so Jupiter is inserted. So we need some more gas giants. So Saturn, our next world out. I'm going to plop it where we're thinking Jupiter's only going to suck up all the material in that region there. So that's it at 5. I think Saturn is going to have to be around 10 in this simulation. So there we go. That is our young Saturn. Then we have Uranus, the furthest of them all. I'm going to plop that around... So that's roughly its normal spot, 17 actually, isn't it? So I'm going to plop it around, yeah, a little further, 19. I'm going to plop the young Neptune in a similar region. So we're thinking now. Supposedly, you know, the theory always was that Neptune formed closer to the Sun than Uranus did. So I'm going to go with that principle once more. I'm going to plop it there. And we're also going to throw in the good old fifth giant. We're going to go with our Planet 9 template for this one, rather than the normal fifth giant. So let's put the Planet 9 in between the Saturn and Neptune. Also theorise where it may have been. So there we go. So I'm going to plop it closer to the Neptune, or closer to the Saturn. I'm going to plop it closer to the Neptune boundary there. I'm going to plop it there. So there's our Planet 9. Now, also, still in the outer solar system. I haven't even got to the inner solar system yet. This Uranus, for instance, hasn't had any object knock it over. So like we did in the other one that we've done previously, this Uranus is going to be a little different than the Uranus we know at the moment. So if I can select Uranus, look at that, disk's already being messed up. So if I could select Uranus, that would be great. There it is. So let's go all the way into it here. So then, but like I said, I want this one to be very in-depth on customization. So this Uranus, for instance, is not going to be knocked on its side. So it's going to be on its normal, more normal axis tilt. It's looking good. So we'll get to customization once the object cools down for colours and stuff, but for now this is just their initial formations. So there we go. Obviously just fix the naming, so I have it all categorised in my one. So in my menu there. There we go, and then the Neptune as well. Oh, that's a sun ring particle. No, we need the Neptune. Let's calm that down. There you go. Cool. Mass-wise, do I want to affect the masses? I'm going to double the Planet 9 up to a similar size to Uranus. 14.3. Uranus, it's around that size as well. Neptune's going to be the most massive of them all still. There's Uranus. Yeah, 14.5, so... Wowee, okay. And then 17 for Neptune as well. Maybe a little bit bigger for Neptune. Let's go 18 mass Neptune, a little bigger. Slightly larger in size as well. Almost 19, there you go. Saturn, I'm going to make you a little larger than normal as well, since there is no Jupiter. So the dominant gas giant technically will be Saturn in this. If you don't count Jupiter as one, as it's more of a brown dwarf. So, 2.5, I think it's also one radius of Jupiter. There you go. How large is Jupiter itself? 4 radius of Earth. What's that in Jupiter's? It's only a small, so Jupiter's a small, denser world in this one. Interesting stuff. So I think if I tamper with that, it's going to upset the old, or will it? If I doubled that, I think that will, just pause here. That's going to, oh no it doesn't, okay. That's fine, because I want that to be bigger than Saturn. There we go. 1.38 Jupiters. That's, there we go. Is that gonna... Ooh, okay, so that did turn it into a star there. Okay, it's already affecting orbits. Right. That's annoying. Why'd you do that? Yeah, that's not quite right. Let's detune that back to a... Okay, let me just remove it. Jupiter's gone wrong. Right, so let's go again. Place it roughly around 5 AU. That's what I wanted. Maybe I just have to leave it the way it was, and... I mean, I can try and lock the old... There we go. It always gets a bit tricky when you start messing with this stuff, so... I want it to be around, was it 50, wasn't it? And that will turn it into brown dwarf mode. So it does upset the radius though, doesn't it? Despite it being large, it's the density, isn't it? Let's try that. Play. So that keeps it as a brown dwarf, yeah, okay. Let's lower this a bit more. May have to keep Jupiter on lock mode for this one. Oh no, maybe not actually. It's just the density. It's a little mischievous. Okay, well, it was around. Okay, I'm just gonna leave it at about 40 for now. We can always come back to that. All right. So there we go. Back on track now. Now, will it have an effect on that Saturn? Let's actually. You can already see the orbits are being wobbled around already. I'm just seeing if that's too critical. So it's already causing some problems. It's these young systems, man. I'm telling you, they are naughty and they are a pain to. Maybe this Jupiter's a little too much for the system, actually. It just upsets all the other gas giants. Too much for us to really evolve it for a long period of time. It goes to show, though, you know, forming a system, you know, anything could happen. It could absolutely wreck it. So, for instance, I think the Jupiter's going to have to be detuned before it destroys everything. So I'm going to lower it down to 10. Is that 5? See, that's already a little calmer, isn't it? And then Saturn, we'll buff that back to where it was. Maybe needs a fresh orbit as well, actually. Let's go to controls. I always forget what the auto orbit is. It's there, isn't it? Yeah. Voila. So you can see all everyone else's orbits being upset as well. Let's just give everyone a quick reset as well. It's all part of that formation process. This is where we are allowed to tamper with orbits until we get it roughly where we want. So Neptune's already been put as the farthest one out now. Done by a bit of natural evolution. Okay, interesting. So, okay. So it should be able to keep us running for a longer period of time now. So I really wanted that Jupiter's a brand off. I think it's just too much being in that region though. It's just going to have too much effect on the other planets. I mean, for instance, if Jupiter was a red dwarf star, it would wreck everything in our solar system in reality. So there we go. With the Jupiter, a stronger dominant giant than normal. 5 masses there. Could have a stronger pull on the Saturn area once it gets running a bit, depending on where their positions are. The Neptune's been, yeah, literally ejected to its... Is that in a normal position? Where's that sitting? Neptune's normally around 30. So it's a little... Okay, so it's a little closer than its normal position, actually. But it is changing. Look, it is changing. There's nothing set in stone here yet. So while that's all playing out, okay, we will sit with that for now. Jupiter's orbit's slightly bent, isn't it? Let's give it a bit of a... I want to give that a readjustment. There we go. Where are we? So that was sitting around... I'm going to put it down to 12 years. Yeah, okay, so a little closer. Saturn, 25-year orbit. Uranus, 51, so a bit of a jump there. The Planet 9 currently in there as well. Let's go and check it out. So taking the 5th giant's role for this one. It's 14 masses there. Okay, and then you've got Neptune that's already been thrown out a bit more. Okay, so there's our sort of outer giants. But what if there was a 6th giant? We've done the 5th giant stuff. We like the 5th giant. What if we have the 6th giant? And what do we make it? So, I don't really have any... Let's go with one of the... Let's have a 6th giant. Yeah. Out there. You know, just for a bit more carnage. Now, what do we make it, though? Do we make it a gas giant or an ice giant? That one looks quite interesting. Let's go with that one. That's a template, so let's just spawn it in. Where do we plop it? Do we put Uranus, Neptune? Do we have it in the Jupiter? Oh, this could result in an ejection, but I'm going to plop it in a similar position to Saturn's orbit. So I'm going to plop it a little further on the Saturn. I'm going to plop it there. Now, how much mass do we give it as well? Let's see. There it is, the template gas giant. We can select it, please. Come on. Oi. Gas giant. There we go. Oh, it is quite cool looking, actually. All right, 28 masses of Earth. Okay, yeah, it's a little bit bigger than Neptune there. So we'll call it the 6th giant. I mean, simple as that, right? It's got an interesting looking design as well. Okay, good stuff. And there is its orbit. So the 6th giant could definitely make for some interesting sights in this system. 28 masses of Earth. Have a bit more pull on it. I'm going to put it to 34. Right, there we go. So, I think that's it for the gas giants. Look at that. All that material being sprayed out there. Maybe that means we have to form some stuff. So, Pluto. A world we've never really done much with alternate realities before. I'm going to plop it in. A little further out than Neptune. Let's plop it around its sort of 33 AU. Something that's formed in the depths there. So there it is. The young Pluto. Here it is. Now, Pluto. It's going to be a full-size world. Pluto is a planet. And we are going with it. So, there it is. 0.1, 0.2 Earths, 0.4 Earths. A decently sized world. Radius is 1.06 Earths. Almost a super Earth, eh? There it is. The young Pluto. Now, I'm going to also give it a special composition. So, where are we here? While this is all forming. Give it a second elevation map for a bit of extra action. Let's give it the old combination of Io Pluto could be an interesting one. Let's go with that. And maybe slightly change the offset a bit. There you go. Slowly modify it. Change that Pluto Io mix. Could be interesting. Composition. Here we are. So, Pluto. I'm going to give you a bit more. So, here we go. So, it already has water. 0.05 carbon dioxide. There you go. Build an atmosphere. This young Pluto is going to have some decent material thrown in. Okay, there you go. It's going to have a bit of some more negative material in there as well. We're going to have just a full mix of different stuff. Bit of nitrogen to help it out a bit. Let's go in and throw in a bit of that. Ammonia. Again, similar story. I'm going to give it a bit of methane. So, decent sized chunk of that. There you go. So, Pluto with a whole different composition to what we normally know it as. So, there we go. And see how that world one day appears as. Right now, it's got an atmosphere. So, this young Pluto... Quite the spectacle there. Definitely a world to keep eyes on in the future. So it's formed very far out, but one day it could be in a good position. So, same story with Eris. I'm going to have the two largest dwarf planets as fully fledged planets in this one. So, again, Eris. But they can't all be pretty. So we are going to have... So where's Eris? I'm going to plop it in a little further region than Pluto. We're going to plop it there. These may get affected by gas giant pools anyway, so they could be ruined anyway. So there's the young Eris. Again, larger size. 0.3. So not as large as Pluto, but Eris. Still a fully sized planet there. We're also going to give it a bit more composition. So let's see. Now I'm thinking this one. We're going to go heavy on the Titan. I'm going to call it the Titan effect. So we're going to give it a Titan-like kind of design. So where are we? Eartho, yeah, that's fine. So oxygen, I will give you a bit of oxygen. And I'm also going to give you a bit of nitrogen. A decent sized nitrogen chunk. There you go. Let's double it up. Bit of ammonia, why not? Throw that in as well. There we go. No water though. Or maybe a tiny piece of water. A little bit of water in there. But methane, that's going to be the primary resource because it is obviously going to be like Titan. So we do need a bit of that. Bit of that methane going on there. There you go. So Eris in the far depths there. A world with potential. Either way. There you go. So the young Pluto and Eris in here. Looking good. And then we'll throw in the rest of the good old dwarfs as well. So we're going to go in with Make. Similar region. We're going to spawn that in there. Far out. There you go. The young Sedna. We're going to plop that in there as well. Triton as well. I'm going to plop that closer to the Neptune region. I'm going to plop it there. And I'm also going to make Triton kind of like, because it technically, you know, larger than Pluto and Eris in reality, you know. Going to make this one a fully sized planet as well. Could make things interesting. 0.4 masses of Earth. There you go. The young Triton taking shape. But not as glamorous as Pluto or Eris. But it is in there as Triton. So there you go. So again, some far out dwarf size worlds here. Now, I did mention earlier about the planet that never hit Uranus to knock it on its side in this. So we need a super Earth in the Uranus region. So I'm thinking we will go with... what do we call it? Let's go with the planet X. I always like using that one for this kind of scenario. So get the planet and the X name in there. So what world should I use as a template? I'm going to use the Mustafar template that I made. I'm going to plot that in here. One of the Star Wars names. I'm going to plot that in the Uranus region as a super Earth. But it's obviously going to be renamed as planet X. So if I can select it. Come on. Oh wait. There you go. So planet X in this scenario. There we go. It needs to be bigger. It is the size of Earth. Almost so. 0.8 Earths. There we go. So something of a decent size. Oh, super Earth. 1.66 radius of Earths. So there you go. So something of a decent pull on it. It's not the prettiest looking world. It doesn't need to be. It's just a rock that's in the depths that is potentially going to hit Uranus. Or maybe it won't. So there we go. So, as for other dwarf worlds, let's go over a decent spray of dwarf worlds. So we need to go to the minor category, don't we? So, I don't have Haumea. Let's pop that in. Yeah, it's not a lot. There's not a lot we can select from in the menu, is there? So, we'll go over random spray of dwarf worlds as well. It doesn't really matter. So, random small moons. No, fill up the dwarf planet region with a lot of names. We're going to pop them all in there. There you go, that's a decent range. So there we are. As for the inner system now, we haven't even got to the inner system, and it would be very wise to save right now. So let's go ahead and do that. So alternate reality, this is a big one. This is the most complicated one we've made so far, actually. So we've got a lot of Yeah, a lot of interesting designs for those are. I'm going to be very keen to see how this forms. But as here we are for the inner system. So we're going to go with the usual bunch. The usual faces. So young Mercury. Again, I like to have Mercury. You know, Mercury is always theorized to be a world that got pushed towards the sun. So I'm going to put Mercury in a more normal position here as well. I'm going to plop it 0.9 AU. Venus, forming as the closest planet to the sun. I'm going to put it around 0.6. Obviously, we're going to have the Earth. So here we go. Let's go ahead and put the Earth around that same position as Mercury, a little further out. 1 AU, completely exact to its position. Mars, a little further out as well, 1.37. And then we're also going to go with an alternate Mars, so random rocky. I'm going to plot that in there as the Theia, but we're going to have it in between the Earth and Mars orbits rather than on top of Earth's orbit. Mercury, I think I'm going to move that a little closer as well. I don't want it being too close to Earth. It might be quite hard to select the worlds at this point. Let's just use the navigator. So we need to go to Mercury. There it is. Cool. Alright. And I want to lower this a bit. It's a little closer to my liking. There we go. Kind of in that Mercury-Venus position now. A little further than Venus. It's kind of similar to what I did before. There's our Theia there. That's that world there. So there we go. Really has an atmosphere. Okay, interesting. See how that's placed out. So there it is. This is the Theia. And to tell you what, it's already formed pretty much how I'd want it. I mean, it's got material, it's got temperature. The young Theia's come a long way. Right, as for young Mars, where is young Mars? So Jupiter's obviously sucked up quite a lot of material in this system as well. So we're on Mars. I'm going to give it a little more mass than normal. But not really much to make it a full-size planet either. So it's still going to be smaller than Earth in this situation. So there we go. Composition though, I am going to give it... Where are we? Actually, it was the atmosphere, wasn't it? I wanted to give it... I'm going to give it the Earth preset. There we go. Yeah, I'm going to give it just the composition of Earth. So there we go. So it has a more interesting kind of design going on here. And there we go. And one thing as well, Mars will have its magnetic field in this simulation as well. So where are we? Doesn't really matter about the sea level yet, but we can give it some. Number 2, I'm going to plot that on. Give it maybe Iapetus. Go with Mars and Europa. Could be an interesting duo. How does that look? Yeah, could be good. Alright. Yeah, Mars-Europa duo. Right, so composition is what I want. It's down here. We're going to give it a magnetic field. Good old Mars. So there we go. Let's see there. There it is. So Mars, fully fledged magnetic field. Protection. That's what you need. So there we go. So the young Mars, protected. The Earth. Obviously, we need to convert Earth to the young Earth. Okay, right, there we go. Oh, we can get to customization in a bit, actually. But yeah, there we go. So let's just let it run for a bit. I'm also going to go with our good old asteroid belt friends as well. So we're going to go with Ceres. So there it is. I'm going to plot that roughly there. As for the other minor asteroid belt worlds, we'll throw some of them in like Pallas and stuff as well. Oh yeah, Vesta, sorry. Yeah, for Vesta and Pallas, we'll plot those in a similar region. Vesta, Pallas, and there's a bit of a jump to Jupiter because Jupiter has got a lot of place in this system. So there we go. So again, we'll get to customization in a bit. You can see, look at the disc, it's been slung everywhere. Let's just speed up the simulation now. Let's get a bit of runtime in the very early days here. So there we go. We're already 20 minutes in, and we've only just finished the formation process. Now, have we? Look at all that material that's been strewn out. What if that was to be picked up by something else? What if Nemesis joins the party? So we are going to have... I'm going to use EBLM here. The smallest known star. I don't have it in this simulation anymore. I don't have it saved. Okay, that's very annoying. Is it in the star grid? As I will just have to get my custom one. It is not. Okay, right. We're going to spawn the younger or the smallest known star, which is smaller than Saturn, into the simulation and have it as our Nemesis star in the far depths of this system for some extra stellar encounters maybe in the future. We will see. So there we go. So there's our alternate reality saved. And I'm going to go and grab the young star. Okay, everyone. A Nemesis for the sun has now appeared. It has eaten up the material that has been thrown out to the outer solar system over there, eating up that trail. There it is. It's got 87 Jupiter masses sitting on the far edges of the solar system. So if anything ever gets slung out there, the Nemesis could be around to consume it or get rid of it. So there we go. But I think that's going to do it for the planetary disk now. We can pretty much say that our system has formed. The orbits are already starting to change by the pull of the planets. So it's going to be time to remove our planetary disk so we can actually run this simulation. We're going to also lower the background temperature back down to the regular 0. So there we go. So now the star is the only thing controlling the heat of these worlds. So there we go. That is our young system formed. So let's go ahead and plop in another save there. So now we've come out of the proto phase. There it is. So one thing I wanted to do to these guys as well, I didn't want them to be too small, but I did want them to be dwarf planet sized enough. So there we go. Vesta and Pallas, we're converting those to dwarf planets there. And we'll also give them a bit more of an interesting composition of some kind. Let's give them an atmosphere and stuff. That could be interesting. The presets. There we go. Well, has that even worked? Oh, okay. Yeah. Not sure if that even worked, actually. There we go. Well, we'll go ahead and add some a few bits and pieces in here. So there are we. Yeah. Just to make up a bit of give him a bit of numbers and stuff. So there we go. Pallas, Vesta. No, we can make Vesta pretty nasty. Let's go here. There you go. So almost a Venus-like world. That little Vesta there could be interesting. Ceres itself. Again. Going to be a lot of water going on here for this one. There you go. So water and nitrogen only. So that's what Ceres is formed with there. Still a small world though. If we look at its, I did want to make it a bit bigger, didn't I? So 0.1 moons. So yeah, a small planet in terms of most. It's probably never going to be too crazy, but it is there. The young Theia has cooled down. Look at the young Theia. Check that out. Looking very good. The young Earth. What's going on here? Still very warm. Okay. It's not going to have its constants just yet, though. So that surface map is not going to be the Earth we know yet. So let's give it something else. Let's go with the Callisto surface for now. The young Earth. There it is. So not the world we know yet. Venus. Again, what I'm going to do a U. It's not going to have all of that filth in its atmosphere at the moment. We're going to cut that out. So where is it? Yeah, the carbon dioxide. What's that in? Moons. Yes, let's go ahead and give it see if the preset works. It has. There we go. So we've changed Venus. So it's a lot more similar to Earth at this current time. So that will cool the things down a bit. Mercury, same principle. I want all the rocky planets to be formed with roughly the same materials. So luckily that button helps us out a bit. So there you go. Give it the composition of Earth. And there you go. Also increase the magnetic field of Mercury. We're going to give Venus its magnetic field as well. Where are we? So there we go. Turn it up a bit. So Venus, a very strong magnetic field at Venus. What's Earth's one? 2.5 radius of Earth. What's that in moons? Yeah, so Venus has a very strong one. Mercury, also again, it's got its own one. Mars has a magnetic field in here. It makes sense for Theia to have one as well. So all the rocky planets having a oh, that's a bit too much. So all having a decently sized, protection going on there. So there it is, Theia. Show it. There it is. So it has got protection from the sun there. Looking good. Ceres as well. Too small. Not going to give it one. So the inner planets all protected here in this scenario. And there we go. So there we go. There's the Mercury itself. Looking pretty... yeah, so I want to give I want to make Mercury a larger size object in this one as well. So I'm also going to increase its size a bit. So Mercury more of a fully fledged planet in this one. Venus is fine. The young Earth, that's fine as well. Keep it the size. Theia in there as well. And then there's Mars, also larger than normal. So currently got a good palette of interesting worlds in here there. So there we go. So the young Venus, closest planet to the sun, but currently in a decent temperature range. The Earth, cold at the moment. The young sun, it's only 0.65 luminosity, a little hotter than normal, at 6.5 luminosity there. Mars and Theia, again, probably too cold for the time being. What is Theia made of, actually? Let's have a look at its stuff here. So it has, yeah, okay, what you'd expect. I'll give it a bit of carbon dioxide just to buff it in there a bit. There you go. Give it a bit more temperature, wouldn't it? Here you go. So help it out a bit, get a greenhouse on it. Right, so here we go, and then that's the rest of our system here. So look at the Nemesis out there. Could have a pool on those dwarf planet orbits, who knows? So should be interesting. There we go. Let's just fix the names of these guys as well. There you are, dwarf planets out there. Quite a decent bunch of them beyond the Neptune region there. Oh, that's the siren. That's 2 videos in a row. I don't know if you can hear that. That's 2 videos in a row of ambulances and police cars or whatever it was going past. Oh, man. Do apologise if you can hear that. Right, so Ceres. Again, the world looking a lot more nicer than normal. But again, it's still going to be pretty frozen up. Vesta, a world with an atmosphere. Also, an interesting candidate there with its dark purple trail. Pallas, also a world with something going on. Not much though. So Pallas, the less interesting of the asteroid belt region objects there. And there we go. So Venus currently cooling down. The sun's not quite where it needs to be yet. There's Mercury. Mercury, where's it? That's an atmosphere. Let's give it an atmosphere. What's going on there? Or does it have an atmosphere surface? No, it doesn't. Okay, now what Mercury needs an atmosphere, people. Let's give it a 1. There you go. Get a bit of temperature going on the young Mercury. There you go. Alright, cool. And then the young Earth. Hidden below the clouds. What is going on at the young Earth? There it is. Let's have a little look underneath. What is going on here? There it is. Okay. Where's the water? Should have water on it. What is the ATM all about? What? Whoa. There you go. Fix that Earth up. What is going on there? No wonder it was looking very uncomfortable. Alright, so the Earth. Got to rebuild from scratch. Where's our water? There it is there. Let's see. It's got its water. Yes, it does. It should have its water on it. Now let's fill her up a bit. It needs it. Where's our sea level button? There you go, Earth. The young Earth. There it is. That reddish glow on it, though. Okay, I'm not sure the Callisto texture is quite right for the Earth. Let's try another texture. Let's try the Ganymede one. That may be give us some interesting water formations. There you go. Yeah. Looking good. Alright. See how that young Earth forms. No city lights allowed, though. Get out of here. There you go. Alright, so the young Earth. It's got water. Got a bit of land going on there. Still a very primitive process at the moment. Below that atmosphere. Okay, so looking very... Is that the red star giving it that light? Surely not. With the goggles on? If you turn the goggles off. Really? There's no way that Nemesis star is giving it that red dark light. If it is, that's awesome. But I don't think at that distance it should be doing that. That star is very far away. And yeah, I don't believe that's quite right. Right, so why is the Earth still warm then? So what's going on here? So that's fine. The composition's all fine. Atmosphere, what's going on here? I mean, it shouldn't be... I mean, where's that atoll zone? So it's still on the edge, isn't it? So we'll have to come back to that. The young Mercury. So now we've got our system form, we can do the customization. So Mercury, how are we doing here? Make it a little more pretty to look at. It does have water on it, so I expect to see some sea level. But remember, adding the sea... Oh, no, it doesn't. I thought I added the water with the Earth composition. How very interesting. Let's try that again. There you are. Yeah, maybe it just got blown off or something. So there you go. So it has the stuff it needs. So again, sea level on the young Mercury there. There you go. Hopefully that doesn't just spiral it into greenhouse. Because I do know if you add water, it can upset your atmosphere. So you do have to watch out for that when you do that. So there you go. Mercury's looking okay for now. So there you go. So the fully fledged planet Mercury, I might add, looking good so far. For appearance, so it's not just a rinse copy of normal. Let's give it a mixture of different textures as well. Let's go with Iapetus and Mercury combined. Could be an interesting duo. How's that look? There you go. Changes the water a bit. There you go. Should be interesting. Right, there we go. And then back to the sea level. There we go. Gives Mercury a different kind of appearance maybe with the sea levels. And there it is. Okay. And also we'll change the colour of it as well. We'll go full in with the customization because I know you guys always like a bit of customization. So there we go. Now while we're doing this as well, I know some people did say about forming the planets by like colliding asteroids and stuff. Stay tuned is what I've got to say to that. Stay tuned. It's not off my radar. I do have plans. So stay tuned for that. There we go. Let's give Mercury a deeper colour. Let me make it more interesting than normal. There it is. So there's Mercury. Clouds. Fluffy clouds. I think that's fine. Now the atmosphere. What do we make the atmosphere appear as? Maybe a slightly almost greener look. Could be interesting. Green with a red glow. Yeah, very funky looking Mercury there, isn't it? I'm gonna sit around there. The young Mercury looking pretty exotic with its nice green appearance. How's the young Venus doing? Obviously it has its thick atmosphere and clouds as always. There you go. But that texture, I'm not going to roll with that colour. So we need elevation and composition colours. And I'd like custom, please. So there we go. And give it, again, maybe more of a sandy yellow appearance. With maybe a potentially greener colour if it could ever get to the nicer colours. So almost like a desert appearance it's got going. Vegetation will switch on if it ever becomes habitable. Same with city lights. Maybe Venus one day will have a cool looking appearance. The simulated atmosphere, we're going to remove that haze. We're going to give it none. And then give it a more regular appearance. So the atmosphere... Oh, hello. Oh, that's fine. So, okay. The sister planet to Earth needs to be doing some sister planet appearance. Let's give it a nice deep blue, almost purple shade of atmosphere there. There you go. There's the old Venus. It's going to have its thick clouds, of course, because it is Venus, so it's going to keep that kind of asset. It has got water on its surface at the moment. Depends how long that lasts, though, eh? It is there. There is water there. How long will it last? 87 ATM. I do not like the look of that. Let's get rid of that. Clear that out. See how it sorts itself out, though. It's always the thing adding the water level. It always messes up your thing, which is always a bit of an irritation. So that's what it looks like underneath. Currently hattable. The game's just made it green. I didn't make it that green. So currently the game thinks it's hattable. Very interesting. There you go. So the young Venus. We'll have to see how that works, because currently it's out of the hattable zone, so it shouldn't be getting too hot. Mercury and Earth, they're all sorted for now. The young Earth, obviously not formed to the way we know it yet. Mars, haven't done any customization to Mars at all, have we? But there it is, atmosphere. Going to give it a deeper, more of a pale light blue for the time being. Turn the ray light up, I think. Turn the opacity up as well. Give Mars a nicer appearance for now. There you go. Okay, clouds. Roll them up as well. See how the young Mars does. Storm and turbulence on Mars. There you go. Have to see how Mars develops over time. Theia, world we haven't done any customization to at all yet, 'cause it's already formed roughly in a good position, so I think I'm going to leave it roughly the way it is. Other than maybe a bit of an atmosphere change, maybe a yellow lime green appearance atmosphere. Let's put this to 0. So an interesting colour going on with Theia, maybe an unknown material of some kind. So we'll give that, we'll reflect that in Theia's trail colour. Turn vegetation city lights on, so if it does have hattable conditions, it will do it automatically for us. So we'll have to see how that appears. So there we go. So there is our young system. Now, we'll do a bit of evolution before we finish up today's video, because I don't want to make this one too long, as we will be here all day, because I'm having way too much fun at the moment, so we will have to cut this down a bit. So there we go. Let's see the initial evolution of this. And then the planet X, how's that one doing? There it is, out in the distance there. A hot scorched rock, but not really much going on it. The world's sharing the orbit with Uranus. And also Uranus itself. Before we actually... I forgot, customization. Uranus is a little more exotic than its normal ways here. So there we go. Let's give it a bit more banding, a bit more band colour, you know. A bit more action going on at Uranus, since it never got knocked on its side. So let's give it a few changes. Make it look a little more like there's a little more going on at Uranus now. So there we go. So I need to do that with Venus as well. I need to stop its rotation, make its rotation. Same with Mercury, give it more regular rotation. So Uranus, a little more interesting to look at than normal now. There's a lot more going on in those Uranian clouds now. So there we go. Same with this. Ooh. It's a little more cloud action going on there. You can actually see a little more activity. It's probably the right kind of way for Uranus. So there it is. So a little different to its normal appearance. But Uranus, the world that never got knocked on its side. There you go. Neptune, Saturn, they're all fine. Jupiter, again, that's fine. Does it have its red spot now? It may have a red spot because I did reopen the sim. Let's see. Where is it? Jupiter. If it would load. I shouldn't have done it with the band menu open. That's always a recipe for disaster. Have to wait for it to load. There you go. Let's get that off there. Does it have a red spot? It should do. I think it... Yeah, it does. Hey, there you go. Neptune, again, that's fine where it is. The Planet 9, how are you doing? This unique texture we gave it years ago. Looking good. So visuals, yeah, I want to give it a trail colour just so it stands out a bit more as well. Sixth Giant, that one's already got a trail colour, matching the Jupiter-Saturn look as well. Very nice. They give planet 9 a colour like that. Saturn will give you more of a yellow, so we can actually see the difference between that one and the 6th giant in there. Looking good. Nice. Triton on the inner edge of the Kuiper Belt region. That's a fully fledged planet there. It has an atmosphere. Look, there you go. Give it a bit more of a appearance. I like how they are all receiving that dark light from the Nemesis star. That's pretty awesome. So there it is in the depths. Ultra red. There's Pluto. How are we doing at Pluto? This is a full Earth-sized world. Remember, where is that? Yep, there it is. It does have its atmosphere. Very nice. Very, very good. But at the moment, Pluto is way too frozen to really have anything going on. I definitely gave that the Earth composition. Let's try again. There you go. That's better. Not sure how... I definitely didn't... Yeah, I didn't save over anything, so that's weird. But yeah, it has the Earth composition for now. So the young Pluto. And you know what will make it interesting as well is it's not going to be... We're going to have it on its normal axis. It's not knocked on its side. Yep, okay, that's fine. Let's see here. Let's give it a bit of the sea level, because it did have that. So we'll give that. It has got the water on it. Yep, that's fine. And yeah, magnetic field. I want a bit of magnetic field going on here, please. There we go. Let's give it a free Earth-sized one. The only one that's going to have that in this Kuiper Belt region. So there you go, the young Pluto. Looking a little more alive than normal. So there it is. Get some cloud coverage as well. The atmosphere is there. It's just at this depth you can't really see it, but it is there. So there you go. There's your young Pluto. I love how it's receiving light from that deep red star, though. Although it shouldn't, the very depths. But there's the young Pluto. Oh yeah, that Nemesis is lurking out there, everybody. It is there. So there you go. So that's most of the customization done, I think, for everybody. Where's the Eris? That's just checking on the Eris as well. Eris. Where are we? The other dominant object in the Kuiper region. There it is. Okay. So Eris has kept its interesting appearance. What's going on underneath the atmosphere? There it is. Looking good. Hey. So it's a fully fledged world there. We'll just dim that so we can actually see it a bit more. But there it is. So almost like Titan, isn't it? So there you go. And yeah, as for the inner planets, I wanted to make them have proper rotations. So Mercury, 0.9 days. That's fine. Venus, you are way too slow. Slow that down. Make it a little longer than the Earth. 1.3. And one thing we need to do with Venus, it rotates the wrong way, doesn't it? Let's give it a full rotation. There you go. So it is now on the correct thing. There you go. So there's no funky worlds on their sides or anything in here. So a little more normal. Mars is already fine. What's Phaea's day? Phaea is way too quick. Let's increase that. Make it the longest of the inner planets at 2.31 days. There you go. Ceres, speed you up a bit as well. Slow you down, I should say. And there you go. Right, so that is my full sort of customization that I think I wanted to do in here. So I think we can pretty much lock in there and begin with the evolution phase of this system now. So that is our system. Now, how will this change once we start evolving? So we'll do a quick evolution now, see how things start to change, and then next episode we'll get into the full evolution phases of this. So you can see the orbits are already going to be changing. Jupiter's got a big presence in here, could really upset. Saturn and the 6th giant are way too close to each other. There's going to be carnage there. We've got the planet X, Uranus, that's a problem. Planet 9 in there, again, a world that could be under threat. We will see. There we go. Let's see how this changes. So inner system, I'm hoping should be all okay, functioning well. Jupiter, not having too much dominance. The 6th giant already being slung out from the Saturn region, already being in orbit bent there. Could be up for a problem, or will it find its stable position? There you go. But look at the dwarf planets' orbits. Look at them. They are just not... That Nemesis star, the Neptune presence there, that's going to be rough. You've got Pluto in there as the largest of the objects. Pluto and Eris, they could be causing problems. You know, having much more pull than everything else in that region. If Eris is normal white, we know it as maybe a light blue. Why not? There you go. So Pluto and Eris out there in the depths. The 6th giant, I think, is going to be the first to go in here. There it is, slinging out. Planet X in there. Saturn clearing out its orbit a bit. Oh yeah, that 6th giant's not having it. Slung it out to the planet 9, the Uranus region now. Woohoo! There you go, the 6th giant. Not going to be a good day for you, is it? So there it is. Whiter colours, there you go, so you can distinguish it a bit more. Oh, the orbit! That could upset the inner solar system there. That is a world with 34 Jupiters. Jupiter needs to clear it out quick before it does real damage. Let's see its orbit. There you go, Saturn, you going to do anything about it? Oh, yeah, it did have an effect there. It's slinging that gas. We don't want a gas giant in the inner system. That will upset things. So, there you go. Ooh, it's hanging on in there, isn't it? That 6th giant's a bit dodgy. But it could get slung out by Jupiter here if it encounters it at the wrong position. Or maybe it's orbit, or maybe it'll find peace in between the Ceres and Jupiter positions. Who knows? There you go. Oh, it's still being upset, isn't it? There you go. See some of the dwarf planets now getting upset. I wonder if anything will go around Nemesis. Could be interesting. Look at the wobble of that. If we speed this up, we'll get some real serious, dangerous actions going on here. So there you go. That sixth giant. Look at it. It's on the orbital plane. Saturn encounters with Saturn as well. Oh, Jupiter. Oh my god. That sixth giant is not having a good day. There's no way this lasts at the end of this series now. It's going to be under threat forever. Unless it somehow gets caught by the old Nemesis out there. I think it's going to be ejection for the sixth giant. We've simulated 1,000 years so far. So in the grand scheme of things, not much. So there we go. But what we're going to do is we're going to slow down now. We're going to finish off there today, everybody. Stay tuned next week for the next part. Because I think things have only just got started. We've not had a single ejection yet. But it's coming. It's definitely coming. So as for our lineup, let's get everyone all together. So there is your lineup. So Saturn, the largest planet in the solar system. There it is. You've got Nemesis, our red dwarf friend of the sun here. We've got Jupiter. It looks like it did shrink in size again. Yeah, it did. We're going to leave. That's locked in now. We're not going to change it. So Saturn, obviously, different density makes it larger despite having less mass. Jupiter, much more dense. So we've got the sixth giant in there, in between the Jupiter, Saturn, and then the ice giants. Neptune, 20 masses of Earth almost. You've got Planet 9, 14.3. You've got Uranus at 14.5 in masses there. So all the ice giants are very similar along with the sixth giant in size, but the masses do change. And Uranus looking way better, I might say so myself, with the different appearance it has. We've got the Planet X over here. Looks like it's all frozen up now. It did have an atmosphere at one point. We can add a bit more to it. There you go, a little more so it's visible. We've got Triton, largest of the dwarf planet, or largest of the rocky planets. Someone is, other than the Planet X, sorry. But yeah, look at that, bigger than the Earth. Earth is all frozen, of course. It is in the frozen stage. The sun hasn't warmed up yet. We've got Venus, also frozen. Theia, what is going on at Theia? Is that a runaway greenhouse effect? We may need to readjust that for next episode. Eris, Mercury, looking very good at the moment. Pluto as well, a world of potentially future watery conditions. We've got Mars, a bit of a jump to Ceres and then onto the other dwarf worlds here that haven't had any size upgrades. We've got Vesta, of course, so it is bigger than normal. Looking good. So that is our lineup. Going to be very, very interesting for the next one. But yeah, what is going on with old Fair? I'll check that out after the video. But there it is. What do you think of that for an alternate reality? And there are some real changes going on here. Oh yeah. But looking good so far. So again, just go over save. And yeah, everybody, if you enjoyed this first initial episode, let me know. What do you think down below in the comments? Anything I could have done different? Let me know. What do you think? And yeah, if you've enjoyed it, press that like button as well. Let's even go for 200 likes on today's video as well, guys. Subscribe if you haven't already. Help us on the journey to 50,000 as we are closing on it day by day. We're getting a lot closer. And yeah, that all said and done, everybody. Make sure you all stay safe. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.